So, you've probably seen this document floating around online called the Congressional Reform Act of 2025. It's packed with some pretty radical ideas for changing how things work in Washington. So, what's actually inside this plan that has so many people talking? Well, let's break it down. Right off the bat, this thing doesn't pull any punches. It kicks off with a claim that President Trump wants everyone to share it, with the goal of getting it in front of most of the country in just 3 days. So you can see right away, this isn't just some dry policy paper. It's built to be a viral political statement. All right, so here's how we're going to tackle this. We'll look at the plan itself, then dive into the big financial reforms for pay and pensions. After that, we'll cover the call for Congress to live under the same laws as everyone else, the push to end career politicians, and finally, the overall vision behind it all. Okay, so first things first. What exactly is this proposal at its core? Basically, it all boils down to a 7-point plan. And we're not talking about small tweaks here. This is a proposal for a complete overhaul of, well, pretty much everything. How Congress gets paid, the rules they live by, and how long they can even serve. Now let's get into one of the biggest parts of this proposal. And yeah, it's all about the money. Nearly half of the rules put congressional salaries, pensions, and retirement benefits right in the crosshairs. So it lays out 4 huge financial changes. The plan wants to get rid of tenure and special pensions, move all members of Congress into the Social Security system, make them buy their own retirement plans, and then tie any pay raises they get directly to how the economy is doing for everyone else. Okay, rule number 1 is super straightforward. No tenure, no pension. The idea is that a member of Congress collects a salary only while they're actually in office. The day their term is up, the paycheck stops. The perks stop. This is a direct shot at the current system where you can get a pretty sweet pension after just 5 years of service. All right, rules 2 and 3 keep going on this retirement theme, trying to put Congress on the exact same footing as the general public. It demands they join Social Security and says their current retirement funds should get moved over. On top of that, they'd have to buy their own private retirement plans. And you can see the emphasis in the text, just as all Americans do. This is where it gets really interesting. They've set up this 2-part formula for any pay raises. On the one hand, raises are capped. They can't go up any higher than the cost of living adjustment for Social Security. But then, here's the kicker. If the national budget is in the red, if there's a deficit, that raise gets an automatic 1% cut. It's a way to tie their paycheck directly to the country's financial health. Okay, so we've talked about the money, but the plan goes deeper. The next big idea is all about leveling the playing field. The argument is simple. Congress should have to live under the exact same laws they pass for the rest of us. And this chart lays it out perfectly when it comes to healthcare. It would take Congress out of their separate system and put them right into Medicare. And for every other law, no more special exemptions. They would have to follow the same rules as every other American. And wow, the document is not subtle about this. It states very clearly that Congress must equally abide by all laws they impose on the American people. And then it zeroes in on one thing in particular, with all caps and 3 exclamation points: insider trading. All right, the next big target for this proposal, the whole idea of the career politician. These rules are designed to completely dismantle the idea that politics should be a lifelong job. Now, this next one, rule number 7, is probably one of the most radical parts of the whole plan. It calls for all existing contracts with members of Congress, past and present, to be totally voided. And the reason given in the text? The argument here is that these deals weren't made for the public, but were instead made by and for themselves. And to top it all off, a hard and fast limit on how long anyone can serve. 2 terms. That's it. So we've gone through all these rules, pay, pensions, term limits, but what's the big idea holding it all together? What's the core philosophy, the why behind this entire proposal? It all comes back to this one core concept, the citizen legislator. The document says this was the original vision of the Founding Fathers, that regular citizens would serve for a limited time, and then, and this is key, they'd have to go back home and live under the same laws they just passed. And really, this one quote from the document just ties it all together. The goal is to completely reframe public service. It's not supposed to be a lifelong profession with pensions and perks, but a temporary honor, a civic duty. And that's what it all boils down to, right? This fundamental question at the very heart of this viral proposal. What should the role of a member of Congress really be? Is it an honor and a privilege, or is it a career? This document definitely takes a stand, leaving you to think about where you land on that question.